So we'll start our today's Bhagavad Gita class. Before starting, we'll have just prayers to the Supreme Lord, Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadramaya, Shri Sinitai Gaura Chandra Ji, Vaman Dev Ji, Parshuram Ji, Panchatattva Ji, all the assembled devotees, and Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. We are seeing the last three slokas of the chapter 17. Chapter 17, which entitled as the divisions of faith. So in that we are seeing the last three slokas, and 26 and 27 sloka is combined in the Bhagavad Gita itself. So we'll see it together, and then we'll see the 28th sloka. So the initial introduction about this chapter, that divisions of faith, that in the previous chapter, as the 16th chapter, Krishna was telling that the divine and demonic nature. So those who have faith on the Supreme Lord are the divine, and those who are faithless, they are demonic. But in the start of this chapter, 17th chapter, Arjuna asks that what happens to those who are in between, those who are not having faith on Lord, and those who are having faith. In between that means they are doing their ritual activities, but uh, they are doing by their own whimsical situations or own understanding. So those who behave whimsically, what happens to them? Like that, Arjuna asked in the start of the chapter that what are the he asked about the unauthorized worship of those who have some faith which is not based on the scriptures, non-scriptural faith. What about them? So Krishna tries to give the answers in the start of this chapter from the second shloka onwards, and 2 to 17.2 to 6 7 he gives that the three modes determines one faith, like a mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Based on these three modes, one's faith is determined, uh, and its worship also can be determined. Then from 8 to 10, Krishna explains about the food in three modes. Then 11 to 13, sacrifice in three modes. Then 14 to 16, that is three types of austerities. Then 17 to 19, austerity in three modes. Then 20 to 22, charity in three modes. And in the 23, from last class to this class, so 23 to 28, he is explained about the conclusion, how this divisions of faith, or uh, on the basis of all this, how the without faith uh, is called as asat. That is next verse. So we'll see in the detail last three shlokas, 26, 27, and 28. So we'll recite the shloka first, and then we will have the translation and purport reading. I will repeat once, then someone of you can recite once again. Sadbhave sadhu bhave cha sadittet प्रयुज्यते प्रशस्ते कर्मणि तथा सच्छब्द पार्थ युज्यते सद्भावे साधु भावे च सदित्ते तत् प्रयुज्यते प्रशस्ते कर्मणि तथा सच्छब्द पार्थ युज्यते सद्भावे साधुभावे च सदित्येत प्रयुज्यते प्रशस्ते कर्मणि तथा सच्छब्द पार्थ युज्यते. Second shloka also I will recite. Then combinedly someone of you can recite once. यज्ञे तपसि दाने च स्थिति सदिति चोच्यते कर्म चैव तदर्थीय सदित्येवाभिधीयते. यज्ञे तपसि दाने च स्थिति सदिति चोच्यते कर्म कर्म चैव तदर्थीयं सदित्येवाभिधीयते. यज्ञे तपसि दाने च स्थिति सदिति चोच्यते कर्म चैव तदर्थीयं सदित्येवाभिधीयते. Yeah, anyone wants to recite?
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी में आए.
Yes, Mataji, please.
सद्भावे साधुभावे च सदित्येतत् प्रयुज्यते प्रशस्ते कर्मणि तथा सच्छब्दः पार्थ युज्यते. यज्ञे तपसि दाने च स्थितिः सदिति चोच्यते कर्म चैव तदर्थीयं सदित्यवाभिधीयते. हरे कृष्णा.
Hari Bol. Thank you very much, Mataji. So this is translation for the 26 and 27. Translation and purport also given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The absolute truth is the objective of devotional sacrifice, and it is indicated by the word Sat. The performer of such sacrifice is called Sat, as are all works of sacrifice, penance, and charity, which true to the absolute nature and performed to please the Supreme Person, O Son of Prita. So, whatever devotional services we are doing, that is the truth, absolute meaning, or the main object of that all the services or devotional services which we are doing, that is the Supreme Lord. And all whatever sacrifices, charity to please the Supreme Lord. Like nowadays, Mahakumbha is going on. Why people are going there? Mahakumbha to get purified, and all the objective of purification is what? To please the Supreme Lord, to do that devotional activities to please the Supreme Lord. So all these performed purificatory activities, sorry, or all the devotional service, devotional sacrifices which everyone is doing in this world, entire universe, that is all done to please the Supreme Person, that is Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. And this Krishna is only telling to us, O son of Prita. So the next shloka, 17.28. अश्रद्धया हुतं दत्तं तपस्तत्तं कृतं च यत् असिद्धित् उच्यते पार्थ न च तत्प्रेत्य नो ह्यः. अश्रद्धया हुतं दत्तं तपस्तप्तं कृतं च यत् असदित् उच्यते पार्थ न च तत्प्रेत्य नो इह. अश्रद्धया हुतं दत्तं तपस्तप्तं कृतं च यत् असदित् उच्यते पार्थ न च तत्प्रेत्य नो इह. Anyone want to recite and read the translation?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, shall I?
Yes, Mataji, please.
अश्रद्धया हुतं दत्तं तपस्तप्तं कृतं च यत् असत् इति उच्यते पार्थ न च तत्प्रेत्य नो इह. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anything done as sacrifice, charity, or penance without faith in the Supreme, O son of Buddha, is impermanent. It is called asat and is useless both in this life and the next. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. Okay. So in this, Krishna is telling, means in the last verse, Krishna is telling about those who have Shraddha, faith. So everything sadbhave sadhu bhave cha sadhityet prajujate. means the absolute truth in the objective of devotional sacrifice, and it is indicated by the word Sat. Those who are doing by Sat. So in this chapter, it is said like Om Tat Sat. Om and Tat, it is explained in the previous verses from the 23 to 25. And then Sat is started from the 26. So here it is explained Sat, about the Sat. So the absolute truth is the objective of devotional service, and it is indicated by the word Sat. Sat denotes in the Om Tat Sat, which is the word which we used in all the purificatory processes. So in the purport, it is given by Srila Prabhupada. So what is mean by Sat? The absolute truth. And the perform of such sacrifice is called the Sat. As are all works of sacrifice or penance or charity, which true to the absolute nature are performed to please the Supreme Person. And here, Krishna is in the 26 and 27, Krishna was telling about the those who do the activities with the faith. Then what happens to those who do without faith? Ashraddhaya. So without faith in the Supreme, if anything is done, that is impermanent. That is of no use. It is just done as an activity, just an act. Nothing is useful. Not in this life also, and not in the next life also. So we'll see the purport 26, 27 first. Yeah. So purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Prabhupada Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. The words prashaste karmani or prescribed duties indicate that there are many activities prescribed in the Vedic literature, which are purificatory processes, beginning from the time of conception up to the end of one's life. Such purificatory processes are adopted for the ultimate liberation of living entities. So what are these purificatory processes? See, in the Vedic scriptures, it is given, or in the Vedic lifestyle, when we see, now in the modern culture, it may not be accepted, but in the Vedic lifestyle, or we also know, many people know that in our life, we have a 16 samskaras. Starting from a conception of a baby in a womb of a mother, even when a male and female or uh, they unite together. Before that consummation, what is called as conception, uh, it is uh, it is done. That is Garbhadan Sanskar. So uh, a mother and a father who are becoming a mother and father, they will think about um, uh, the child they want, like how a womb, a baby in the womb of mother, how he get trained due to this purificatory processes. So first of all, the Garbhadan Sanskar is done, and then the conception is process is done. So at the time of conception also, before conception also, there is a purificatory process, that is Garbhadan Sanskar, and then at the end of the life, that is also Antim Sanskar. So all this life is like Garbhadan Sanskar to Antim Sanskar, all we have studying, that is Sanskaras. So we are made out of the Sanskaras, and these are Sanskars which are done by the purificatory processes. And every time when we do such purificatory process are adopted for the ultimate liberation of the living entity. Why these purificatory processes are done? To liberate the living entity. Means the living entity who is coming to the womb of mother, till the end of that, all the sanskaras are done so that that living entity should not come again in this cycle of birth and death. Liberation means what? That only. Once he gone, gone. Yad gatvana nivartante. So the soul who is coming to the womb of mother, the purificatory processes are done to liberate that soul. Yeah, and then that is done till the end of life. And in between also there are 14 samskaras, like Vivaha samskara is one. Then when we accept the spiritual master, that time one sanskara is done. When we accept the brahmanical thread, that time some samskaras are done. Like that, there are many samskaras which are done in between. All these are purificatory process. We are going to get purified, and that purification is needed because, see, one very important thing is, unless we get purified, we will not able to go back to Godhead. Why? Because Krishna is a supreme Lord, and what we offer to Krishna, which will be a pure, right? Like, if even if we want to offer any delicious sabji, or any delicious fruits, will we offer the rotten one? No, we will give it the fresh and juicy fruits. We will give the pure fruits. Ghee also we offer pure. Like that, our soul need to get purified before going back to God. Then only the pure hearted person will, in that heart only Krishna will reside. Because if the heart is hard, then Krishna will not come, because Krishna is a very soft, uh, is like a butter, soft butter. So our, like that, the purificatory processes are done throughout our life to liberate this soul from this life, and no next life. It will be direct back to God. So, in all these such activities, it is recommended that one should vibrate Om Tat Sat. The words Sadbhave, Sadhu Bhave indicate the transcendental situation. Acting in Krishna consciousness is called Sattva, and one is fully conscious of activities of Krishna consciousness is called a sadhu. So those who are acting in Krishna consciousness, they are called as sadhu. Sadhu. We generally say like, oh, very good, very good. Like sadhu means what? It's like a very good activity you are doing in a mode of goodness. So in the sattva guna, one anyone is situated, then it is a sadhu. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that the transcendental subject matter becomes clear in the association of devotees. Very important thing. Very important. That in the association of the devotees only we can understand the transcendental subject of matter. What to think of doing everything without association? No. Even to understand the transcendental subject of matter, we need association of devotees. Otherwise, if I only read the Bhagavad Gita with my own conception, with my own understanding, then I will not understand it clearly. So when I want to read or understand some scriptures, I need association of devotees, because those devotees will only guide me how to understand this clearly. So it is said that the transcendental subject matter becomes clear in the association of devotees. Even when the Parikshit Maharaj heard it from the Sukdev Goswami, it was in the association of devotees. Even Sutta Goswami told to all the uh, saints in the Naimisharanya, that was in the association of devotees. So when this Bhagavatam itself was told, that was understood by many people in the association of devotees. Sutta Goswami heard from the Sukdev Goswami, and then he has deliberated or given to all, he has explained it to all, because he was in the association of devotees. And with the association of devotees only we can understand this transcendental subject matter. Otherwise our memory is very dull by drinking jersey cow milk. So we have to drink cow milk, uh, or buffalo milk. We need to drink cow milk so that our memory should be sharp. And when we are in the association of devotees, the words used are satam prasangat. That satam prasangat is also, that word comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. And with the association of devotees, we can do wonders. And that is possible only in the association. Without good association, one cannot achieve transcendental knowledge. When initiating a person or offering the sacred thread, one vibrates the words Om Tat Sat. Similarly, in all kinds of performance of yajna, the object is the supreme. Om Tat Sat. The word Tad Arthyam further means offering service to anything which represents the supreme, including such service as cooking and helping in the Lord's temple or any other kind of work for broadcasting the glories of the Lord. These supreme words Om Tat Sat are thus used in many ways to perfect all activities and make everything complete. See, why this Om Tat Sat is explained, why it is needed. Very important thing is whenever we do any activity, what happened? We don't have, uh, we are not perfect. We are imperfect human beings, and whatever the material or samagri which we use for the yajna or some process, that is also not perfect. Like some adulteration or something is there. So whatever activities we are doing, like yajna or some purificatory process also, that will never be complete because we are using the faulty things. And because of that faulty thing, by default, we are making a wrong process. So what happens when we do such activities, as we are not perfect human beings, those brahmanas which we are doing there, they are also not perfect human beings, because we can't say like that, but it is like those who are in the material world. Only Krishna is the perfect. So when imperfect human beings are doing imperfect activities, like in the device sessions we used to take this, that all the perfection and imperfection, how everything is by nature, everything created which is perfect. But human being, whatever we make, that is imperfect. Why? Because we are imperfect himself. We are ourselves imperfect, and that's why whatever we do, that is imperfect. We can't get the perfection. Even in the manufacturing also, I teach manufacturing in engineering college. So in manufacturing also, if you want to go for the perfection, the cost of that manufacture will go increase like anything. Like that curve is like this. It is like asymptote to the y-axis. If cost is to the y-axis and x-axis is the uh, precision, and when we want to achieve the precision, high precision or low precise, means when we want to get very high precise, like when we the x-axis is tolerance. When we remove or reduce the tolerance, or when we decrease the tolerance, the cost of that manufacturing will go very high. Like that, when we want to be perfect, that's a law of nature. When we want to perfect, we will become purified, and no one is perfect in this world. And that's why Om Tat Sat, that these words are which denotes the supreme person, these are chanted in the every purificatory activities. Even in our devotees culture or devotees group, when we come together, we chant the holy name of the Lord. Why we chant? Or in any ceremony, any ritual, when we perform, like in our marriages also, in our name giving ceremony also, in our antim sanskara also, whenever whatever samskaras are there, we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Why we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Because the activities which we are doing, those may not be perfect, those are not at all perfect, but whatever the activities which are doing, once the supreme person's presence is come, because Krishna's name is non different than Krishna. When we chant the Krishna's name, then Krishna himself comes there, and all the activities which we are doing, that will become a perfect. Getting? That's why it is said that these supreme words Om Tat Sat are thus used in many ways to perfect all activities and make everything complete. So everything becomes complete only when we chant Krishna's name. That's why Hare Krishna Mahamantra should be played every time whenever we do any activity in home, or at the back of the mind. We should, like when we are working, like it is shown in one drama, Me and My Mind drama. If you want, you can search on Google or YouTube, Me and My Mind, very old drama, and where it is explained, like mind is, when we start chanting, mind is very disturbing. Mind says, no, 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 you don't chant, you don't chant. But when we chant, we are strict to chanting, then automatically mind also tries to chant himself. So chant the holy name. And during our activity, even we are not chanting by our mouth, we are not pronouncing any word, but mind at the back of the mind is himself, he is chanting. So this is called, like, when we chant the Supreme Lord's name, automatically programming is done, and it get purified. Okay, so the last verse we will just see the translation and purport. Anything done as sacrifice, charity, or penance without faith. Lord was saying about the faith, and now what about the those who are not doing with a faith? So those who are doing charity or penance without faith in the Supreme, नहीं नहीं कुछ भी नहीं, मुझे सिर्फ अच्छा काम करना है, like that. No, Bhagwan Bhagwan kuch nahi hote. Nowadays the number of such kind of people is increasing, but after COVID, it's people are more devoted more towards devotional service, or they want to understand what is the Supreme, because people got faith on Lord because of COVID situation. Some like Gyani, Artharthi, Jidnyasu, like that. So Artharthi, Gyani, Jidnyasu, like that. So Krishna is telling Arjuna that anything done as sacrifice, charity, or penance without faith in Supreme, O son of Pritha, is impermanent. It is called asat, is useless both in this life and next life. Anything done without the transcendental objective. Om Tat Sat means what? Sat means with the objective to please the Supreme Lord. But anything done which is not to please the Supreme Lord, whether it be sacrifice, charity, or penance, it is useless. So from this day onwards, we should understand and make a habit in our own life that whatever activity I am doing, it may be my work, it may be my personal work, it may be my office work, or whatever it may be, I will do it to please the Supreme Lord. Are you getting? Why it is? Because when we do it to please the Supreme Lord, we do it by very meticulous carefulness. We are not careless in any activity. When we do it to please the Supreme Lord, we become a part of that activity and we involve ourselves fully. And during this, when we chant or when we are having the smaranam of Lord's holy name, then that becomes complete. So therefore, in this verse, it is declared that such activities are abominable, which are not done with a faith, without the transcendental object. Everything should be done for the Supreme in Krishna consciousness. Without such faith and without the proper guidance, there can never be any fruit. In all Vedic scriptures, faith in the Supreme is advised. In the pursuit of all Vedic instructions, the ultimate goal is understanding of Krishna. No one can obtain success without following this principle. Therefore, the best course is to work from the beginning in Krishna consciousness under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master. That is the way to make everything successful. So, see here, the step-by-step process is given to understand, or yeah, when we follow the purificatory process and when we advance step by step, that that is one principle. So, uh, so all the Vedic scripture principles we have to follow. Then we will able to understand and advance in the spiritual life. So at the very beginning, Krishna consciousness, we should accept the bona fide spiritual master and listen to him, learn, get trained to practice devotional service, and then only the everything will be successful. In the conditional state, people are attracted to worshipping demigod, ghosts, or yakshas like Kuvera. The mode of goodness is better than the mode of passion and ignorance. But one who takes directly to Krishna consciousness is transcendental to all three modes of material nature. So in these three divisions of faith chapter, Krishna is telling about the mode of goodness, ignorance, and uh, uh, passion. Goodness, passion, and ignorance. So all these three modes, step by step, elevating from ignorance to passion, passion to goodness, it's become a very long process. That's why Prabhupada is giving here the shortcut. Prabhupada has already given a shortcut to go back home back to Godhead. So this Krishna consciousness is also given like a shortcut only. So one who takes directly to Krishna consciousness is transcendental to all three modes of material nature. Although there is a process of gradual elevation, if one by the association of pure devotees takes directly to Krishna consciousness, that is the best way. And that is recommended in this chapter. To achieve success in this way, one must first try to find the proper spiritual master and receive training under his direction. Then one can achieve faith in the Supreme. When that faith matures in course of time, it is called love of God. This love is the ultimate goal of the living entities. One should therefore take to Krishna consciousness directly. That is the message of the in this of the 17th chapter. So unless going through these processes, we will not achieve. That's why directly go. So there are two paths. Like one is gradual, one step by step, and the second one is direct. So Prabhupada has given the direct part, and that is with a proper bona fide spiritual master, with a proper devotee sangha, with the association, we can achieve the Supreme Lord, and we can go back home back to God. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 17th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of the divisions of faith. So we are ending this 17th chapter today. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna and Pranam, all the devotees.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranam.
Hare
Pranam
Krishna,
to everybody
very much.
assembled. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam. Hare Krishna to all devotees assembled here.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhuji Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Thank
Hare
you very much,
Krishna,
all the
Prabhu.
devotees, for
Hare
joining. We can join regularly and we can start the daily our schedule with the Bhagavad Gita by hearing the Bhagavad Gita. It's like a Ganga Snan in the age of Kumbh Mela, like Mahakumbha. In the time of Mahakumbha, we should every day we can take the Ganga Snan by hearing the Bhagavad Gita. So thank you very much, all the devotees, for joining. Every day we can join. Yes. Thank you. Hare Krishna.